Hey YouTube, hope this message finds everyone well. Today is very special because it's been a long time in the making. I have finally sit down and decided to make the review of my medical bag that I carry inside my vehicle. So the crash kit, trauma kit, whatever you choose to call it, this is a bag that I have put together over years of just knowledge that I've picked up, situations that I've been in with coming across vehicles, accidents, personal situations. Again, now this is not just strictly set up for trauma. This is just a little bit of everything. So, let's say I happen to take my small IFAK, which that I shared with you guys in my most recent video. If you've not had a chance to watch that, click the link down below. I will have that in the description. But let's say, for example, I didn't have that with me. Packing up the family, going to go camping for the weekend, something happens. I just like things to be very, very rounded. I don't like all of my stuff to be very direct unless it's something that is specifically designed on my belt for when I go to the range. And let's say I'm running some specific drills. So without any further ado, let's get into the bag, and hopefully you'll be able to see something that you may be able to add on to yours. Now, before we do though, disclaimer, again, this is just what I have chosen personally to put into my bag. Doesn't mean that it's right, or doesn't mean that it will work for you in your particular situation. Alright guys, this is the bag from Voodoo Tactical. I picked it up at a gun show for $45. Well worth the money. It's actually designed for a range bag. However, after looking at it and looking at the accessibility of it, I realized that it was going to be a great trauma bag for a vehicle or for your home, maybe your bug out retreat, however you choose to use it, maybe even in an RV. So anyway, this is what I carry with me in my truck. Again, this is a personally built kit, so some of the items in here may not work for you. If that's the case, completely understand. But again, this is based on my life's experience and training. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the outside small compartments. On this side, I've just got a pack of Coleman hand wipes, okay, so that way that I can just clean my hands up before and after if I'm treating a patient. On this side, I've just got a container that you can pick up at Walmart, usually for around about $1. It's from Johnson & Johnson. It's just got a Band-Aids in it normally when you pick it up. However, I always like to customize things, so I've just got a little bit of everything, some different types of pads. I also keep some different ointment in here as well. So just a little bit of a variety of things. Again, please guys understand, this is not strictly just trauma. This is a family medical kit as well. I like versatility to my kits. Alright, now here on the outside, I pretty much have an IV starter kit as well as several different types of suturing kits. Inside this, I carry my good CPR mask, okay? This one's really good because it's got the, when you open it up, it's got the plastic valve. This is what you can hook up to a bag, okay? Be able to do breaths for you as well if you have that. Then it's also got a pack of gloves inside. This mask has got the one-way valve. So after you put this over the patient's mouth, okay, and you're doing your breaths, you don't have to worry about being exposed to any type of hazardous bodily fluids from the patient if they were to vomit, okay. And sometimes that does happen with CPR patients. So now, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but here I have a small American Red Cross. It's just an individual face mask, and it's got a one-way valve on it. I don't want to take it out because it's very compacted, it's very tight. You can pick these up at your American Red Cross, but I've got this on this side of the bag, so that way I know without a shadow of a doubt which side my good CPR mask is on, okay? This also gives me the capabilities if I have multiple patients, or if I have 2 people doing CPR, I also have 2 face shields, okay? So, you know, and granted, it just depends on the life or death situation. You know, if you're trying to do CPR on a patient that has a lot of blood, okay, from some kind of accident, you're definitely going to want to protect yourself because you don't know what that person has been exposed to. So anyway, I also keep it on here just because it gives me access into this compartment a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and open this up. In this side, I've got just a large packet of different types of Band-Aids, gauze. I call this the larger boo-boo kit, okay? Also too, there's the SAM splints, okay, the finger SAM splints. I keep that inside this bag, as well as I keep road flares. Now this is good if you're wanting to, let's say for example, I've been the first person to come up on a scene of an accident around a really sharp corner, okay? So if you are trying to get people to slow down, maybe you're trying to alert emergency services on your exact location, you know, you could pop a couple of these road flares, throw them out as you're dialing 911 also too, and that will help alert emergency services to your exact location. Now, it could be a situation where somebody has you just happen to see it. You maybe see a little smoke coming off from the side of an embankment, and the vehicle is not, you can't see it from the road, so you actually have to go off, you know, the edge of the road in order to be able to see the person. So this is just a good little handy tool to keep inside the bag too as well, okay? You can also too use this if you're broke down, you know, just to get motorists to kind of slow down a little bit for you if you're working on changing your vehicle tire. So anyway, keep that in there. I also actually have an extendable baton, and this is actually used for clearing out glass or debris, okay? If in that type of situation, if you had to remove a patient from a vehicle, okay? Again, you do not want to remove them unless you absolutely have no other choice. The vehicle is maybe going underwater. You know, this just gives you the ability to be able to access that vehicle. You're not going to be able to break it with your hand. Also too, I have a from Benchmade, excuse me. I've got a seatbelt cutter here as well. Usually you can pick these up from the gun show pretty cheap. I think I might have paid $10 for this one, so that stays in there with me as well. So anyway, let me flip this back around to the other side. Now this, I also have this remove before flight keychain. I actually bought this when I worked on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. You know, these are pretty much attached to every plane, every helicopter up on deck, and so I picked it up at a local air show. But I thought the reason that I would actually purchase this was to actually put this on this bag so that I could use it as a quick access tab. Also too, just by looking at the bag, if it's dark, I'm going to know exactly which side my immediate trauma access pouch is, okay? So okay, so upon opening it, the first thing that we're going to come to is a packet or a pack of different size oropharyngeal tubes or J-hooks. You'll see on the back here, it's got the different sizes and the different colors. Comes in really handy, especially if you're working with multiple people or patients. Inside of here, I've got, of course, as you can see, just different, just a bunch of different pairs of gloves. Okay, now this is really important because, you know, if you've ever seen a car accident happen, you'll see a lot of people standing around and they really just don't know what to do, okay? If you happen to be there and you've got some people that are volunteering to help, hey, give them a pair of gloves. You know, you may be able to just get them just to hold some gauze on a wound while you're taking care of another area of the patient, okay? So that's important. You may have multiple people working on the same patient. So, and also too, as I've mentioned before, you could have one pair of gloves that's just completely soaked with blood, which is going to make it harder to continue to work on your patient. So you can change out and have a fresh pair of gloves, okay? So it's a good idea to keep a couple extra pairs in your bag. Here we've got, this is what they actually use for burn victims, okay? Again, a lot of this stuff is really just to make that patient more comfortable until advanced help arrives, your EMTs, to take them to a more advanced care facility, okay? But, you know, if you happen to be on a retreat, maybe it's a camping trip with your family and somebody gets seriously burnt, you know, you can put this dressing on them to help them, okay? You can cut it in two if you needed to treat multiple areas. Also have an EpiPen here. I have two chest needles. I have a 10 gauge and a 14 gauge. Inside of here, just got some just regular medicine, some aspirin, some Tylenol. I do keep the chewable aspirin, the non-protective coating though, the ones for the heart attack victims, okay? Or if you suspect somebody's having a heart attack, just make sure that they're not allergic to aspirin before you give anybody that. Inside of here, I've got 3 bottles of the eye wash, which I mentioned before in a previous video of my IFAK. So I keep that there. Now, on the very top here, I've got a couple pair of gloves that are just ready to go. I just grab them, go ahead and don those, and I'm ready to go to work. I also carry a standard EMT pair of shears, trauma shears. Here I keep one J hook or the oropharyngeal tube ready to go. This is the adult size, as well as a nasal pharyngeal tube. Here we've got some Quick Clot, just a smaller pack, and then I've also got a chest seal, which I really like this brand. This is really good quality stuff. And also too, you'll recognize if you've seen my IFAK video, you'll see this wound care kit or wound seal kit in conjunction with it as well. Pick these up at a gun show as well. Guys, you can pick up a lot of stuff at the gun shows. You just have to be looking for it. And here's another small pack of Quick Clot. So just that combination just gives me the ability, if I can't stop that bleeding with, you know, just with bandages or gauze and pressure, you know, I've got this as a backup. So always good to have. All right, guys, that's it for here. Let's go ahead and open up the center compartment. Up on top, SAM splint. Now, it's very important to have lots of gauze, okay? And I'm just going to take this gauze out and just kind of coat through some of this very quickly because there's a lot. A couple packs of H&H gauze. More Curlex. Curlex is really, really good gauze because you can take this and you can pull it from the center and you can pack a wound, or you can use it and roll it, such as your rolled gauze, okay? More Curlex. I've got more down in here as well. Here's an H bandage. Here's another one. Let's see, got a couple long. I've actually got a couple of these in here, the long pads. North American Rescue. I got 2 cold compresses. Okay. More gauze. And this was a cool little kit. I took a free first aid course in my local community. They were offering it, and took a couple friends with me to go, and they gave these out to everybody. And I didn't open mine just for the simple fact that I wanted to take this. It's free medical equipment, and so I put it in my bag. They already had stuff, and it's actually got a pair of gloves, some roll gauze, and then it's got bandages as well. So anyway, just a great little thing to keep. If you're interested in taking a free course, just contact your local American Red Cross in your community and see what kind of classes that they do offer for you. Most of them will also offer a free CPR class as well. Basically a bottle of iodine. Okay, this is just the generic. We've got the self-adhesive bandage, medical tape, whatever you want to call it. This will just actually just help, you know, if you're taking this and you're going to wrap it around a patient, you can just use this to hold in place if you don't have medical tape. I do have medical tape in here. I actually used it earlier today. This right here is actually called blood clotting spray, and it actually works, believe it or not. I picked this up off Granger's website, and my first experience with using this, because I was very skeptical about this type of product that I've not heard a lot about. So anyway, I'd end up cutting myself really bad right here at the very tip on top of my thumbnail. And so it was very hard. No matter how hard I tried, I could not stop that bleeding. So I used this spray, and it actually worked. It really stopped the bleeding. So this stuff can really help. It's not going to help with really large traumatic arterial bleeding or femoral bleeding, but it can come in handy if you're treating some other minor stuff. Again, this is not strictly just for trauma. This is a little bit of everything. Also, too, I've just got some sterile water in a bottle, and I actually took it out. Here we go. I've got this empty syringe, okay, and this is one of the larger ones, and so what I can do if I need to do a wound irrigation, I can take this with this sterile water and irrigate that wound. I mean, you could have glass particles, dirt, debris. I know that I was involved in a very bad car accident several years ago when I flipped a car multiple times. And the amount of debris that was inside the vehicle and the glass shards that was all over my face was just really surprising to me. I'd never been in that violent of a car accident before. Anyway, getting off subject here, I'll also have some additional lidocaine, a couple light sticks, excuse me, a small Sharpie pen. You know, you may need to take down some information from a patient. Hey, do you have any allergies? Are you allergic to anything? The patient may be conscious while you're there treating them or talking to them, and then they can go unconscious. You know, they can start to code. You know, any information that you can give to paramedics when they get there could be vital. Also, too, got one of the large abdominal Israeli bandages. These are a little bit harder to find. I think they usually vary around about $6 to $8 at gun shows, or probably you can find one on eBay. These are the 12-inch abdominal Israeli bandages, so these are really good to have. And then on the back, what I've done is I took a small fishing kit, and then I took items. And I won't go completely into it, but anyway, I took a small fishing kit and I just added some different items to it, some glucose tabs, some migraine medication, a lighter, a really good pair of tweezers, some lidocaine ointment, some eye wash, or actually just eye drop, excuse me. So anyway, I've even got some super glue in here. So just a little bit of everything just to have inside my kit. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've seen something that would be beneficial to your family medical bag. Again, if you have any further questions or comments, just please leave those down below. And if you're not a subscriber, you know, maybe give my channel a shot. Click the subscribe button, the like, and the share. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.